Hello people! Let's take a look today at this Bluetooth multicolored lights wireless speaker. And as I open this thing up, let me tell you real quick that I actually did not buy this with the intention of making a video about it. I had actually gone to that same discount grocery store that I bought those, the bug zapper and the light thingies that I did a video on a little bit ago. The only reason why I even bought this thing is because I had my kid with me. We saw this there on the shelf. It was the last one left, and it was only like $6. And, you know, he saw that it does like a bunch of like different colors and stuff like that. So thought it was neat. Asked me if he could get it, and I said, well, sure, whatever. It's only $6. So we bring it home and open it up, and he turns it on. I see what it's doing, and I'm like, ooh, sorry, son. Daddy's got to make his videos. And first of all, it's crazy loud when you first turn it on. It was during editing that I realized that that first sound that it makes is the Windows 7 login sound. But as it's waiting for a Bluetooth connection, it kind of just does this sort of like light patterns on the front panel here. Speakers on the back, as you can tell. So this thing here, I guess you can play music off of like a USB stick. You can also stick like a little micro SD card in there. And right here in the back, it's got like a few buttons for like going backwards, forwards. Also, these two buttons right there are for the volume. And then a play pause, and it says TWS. I don't know what that means just yet. It might be in the instructions or something. Mode. And then it's got this light button here. I actually have not pushed this, so I don't even know what it does. Oh, I see. It changes the mode of the lights. Does it only have two modes? No. 3, 4, 5. And is that the default? I think so. Anyways, it's waiting for a connection, so I'm going to turn on the Bluetooth here on my phone. And I've already paired it, so it should connect pretty quickly, I think. And that sounds like the like the Apple ringtone for what, text messages or something? Right, so does it work as a Bluetooth speaker? Yeah, it does. We can just play some royalty-free music here real quick so I don't get a copyright strike. So, there it goes, and the light starts kind of like going to the music. And funny thing about this track is that I've heard it before in like a bunch of other, you know, like tech YouTuber videos and stuff. I never knew what it was called or like where it came from. I just typed in like royalty-free music on YouTube, and this was one of the first ones that came up, so I thought, well, you know, whatever, I'll just click on that. And yeah, so it's called Dreams by Ben Sound. So as we let this play a little bit, you see how the lights there kind of like do their thing. And I thought maybe like pushing the little light button here would change like the pattern or whatever that it does, but it just seems to just cycle through the other patterns. They don't react to the music. So you can kind of see that as I push them along, like they don't go to the beat or anything like that. So yeah, the only one that does is that mode right there. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this off. And to get into this, it looks like it's going to be super simple. Just got 4 screws. And I'm going to try to make this as non-destructive as possible, because I did tell the kid, you know, that I'm not going to damage it or anything. Just going to show what's inside. All right, so let's go ahead and take these out. Oh, and one thing about the handle here that my kid made an observation about is that on the box, the hand is like super tiny compared to the handle itself. As you can see, like an adult hand, definitely much bigger than what they show on the picture there. Oh, and also I looked up that TWS in the manual. It's so you can actually pair 2 of these together so that they play like music and stuff at the same time. So for the cheap one like this, actually, I think that's kind of neat. I mean, the sound quality is not like awesome or anything, but if you just want something to be like to have around to make noise, I guess that'll do it. All right, so that's all 4 screws removed. And okay, the bottom, oh, it's just hinging out because it's got a label down there on the bottom. Here's a close-up of that label on the bottom. So the model number is BYAUBS156BK8810. And one thing I hadn't really thought about is the fact that it's only going to output the battery voltage on the USB port, because there's no boost converter or anything else inside. So we can just let that come apart like that. So that's the lens side. Kind of a see-through plastic. It's kind of like a smoked like lens type of plastic, and it looks like it's inserted into these standoffs there with like some pegs or something. I can't really pop it out. Oh yeah, I can. This side's just a little harder to push out, so yeah, that comes out like that. It's not adhered or anything. And it keeps going in as I try to pull it out, so yeah, that's it. Simple enough. Alright, so here's all the cool stuff. So there's the 5 RGB LEDs that we can see from the front there. It's got a little ribbon here with only 3 wires, so that means that these are probably going to be kind of like neopixels. The angle on that connector is pretty cool. I think it's supposed to be like horizontal, but it's gotten bent up for some reason. Oh man, that's a tiny battery. I was at least expecting to see maybe like an 18650 or something. But then again, I think it did say only, oh yeah, 600 milliamp battery. So, well, that could definitely be upgraded. It's got the holder there for, it looks like something bigger. Yeah, so there's a much better look at stuff here. We see that we got 2 screws here that we can use to remove this board with the LEDs. And sure enough, it's got V plus right there, V minus, and then data in. So we can actually disconnect this connector if it would release. All right, let's try the other side. All right, let's try with the tool. All right, there we go. Some screwdriver in here, get these out. And I mean, there's not going to be anything else on here. It's just, I believe that these LEDs are kind of just like daisy chained except for the power lines. So the microcontroller just feeds data to like the first one, and then it that goes out to the second one and onto the third and so forth. So yeah, that's it. Nothing much to see there. And here we've got an extreme close-up of one of those multicolor LEDs. You can see how we've got that die there in the middle. That's going to be the controller for it. And then we've got 3 little LED elements right there. So those are all connected to what I'm going to guess is probably like the positive coming in. We see that we also have one wire here, one bond wire going to that main chip. And this is probably going to be ground. So this chip here is going to be switching ground to each of these LEDs to turn them on. And then one of these is going to be like the data input, and the other one's going to be the data output. There's one other pin right there that's not used, and no idea what that would be like on this particular chip. But yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll set that aside. And the speaker, it's like a little, was that like a 3-inch speaker or something? 2 ohm, 3 watts. That's actually the lowest I've ever seen in something like that. A lot of times it's 8 ohms. So, that's kind of crazy. And everything's on connectors, so that kind of makes things convenient. There's the speaker. So it's got that sort of like little chrome dome going on right there. A white paper cone. And yeah, that's, I mean, can't really say much about it. That's about it. Oh, and at least we could like, measure the size. So yeah, like a 3-inch speaker. Not going to bother to untape the battery from where it's at right there, but maybe at some point I could upgrade it or whatever if kid really uses it that much. And those 2 screws that were holding the board there are out, and that should release the board like that. There's all the buttons. They're all molded into the plastic. Saves the need for having like another separate little thing that goes in there for those buttons. So as far as the casing goes, yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's the board. We see we've got the 5 little buttons there for the front. That's the micro SD card slot to USB. It's also got the micro USB connector here for charging. And we will zoom in a bit more here, and we'll take a look at what some of these ICs there are. There's another one right there. I mean, that little 5-pin device right there, right next to that port for charging, that's going to be the charge controller. This is probably going to be the amplifier, because you see it's going right there to that connector there where the speaker was. And obviously the battery. So yeah, this little chip right there, that's what's doing everything. You see the antenna here for the Bluetooth. Now, I was fairly certain that this connector maybe got bent upwards or something at some point, but on closer inspection, nope, it was soldered in that way. And there we go. I kind of bent that down just so it's flush with the board. Not that it makes any difference inside of here. And here's a close-up of the main chip here. It's a PNQA15E5E. It's got a date code of, looks like 35th week of 2021. Got a 26 megahertz crystal right there. And this thing here has a board date of, looks like August 8th of 2022. That's probably the part number there, mark 1320. That's the connector for the LEDs right there. That there's U3. It says LTH7. And as I said, that's definitely going to be the charge controller for the battery. The little charge controller appears to be a Linear Technology LTC4054-4.2. It looks like this is the one that it is because it's marked LTH7. There's also another one that's an LTC4054X ES5. And that might be the marking LTADY. I don't know what the difference is between the two parts. I actually haven't really investigated it here in the datasheet either, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be that first one right there. And just like in other devices that we've seen recently, it seems to be meant for just like easy implementation into whatever you're putting it in. And it just like really simplifies all the connections and all that. U2, oh, okay, that would be another amplifier. So it looks like this thing could potentially operate in stereo mode, but they've only installed one amplifier, so it only does mono. I'm wondering if there's like a stereo lines coming out of the main chip here that are somewhere both joined together so that it only operates in mono mode. We'd have to see which one the input to this chip is, and if there's a data sheet that we can find for that chip there to see if that's the case. But yep, you can see right there. So that amplifier looks like it says AIP 9971. And as you can see there, both pins 5 and 8 both run directly to the speaker. So I'm going to see what I can find about this chip and about this chip, and then see if it's possible that this device could technically support stereo mode, or at least the board would, but I mean, obviously this case only has room for like one speaker. So let's see what we can find. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything about that particular chip there, but I did find something for this little amplifier. I didn't find a data sheet, but I did find this website here where it shows a pinout, and it does seem to match what's on this board. So that's the positive output for the speaker. That's the negative output for the speaker. We've got a ground and we've got VDD. There's a pin here that says mode. That appears to run to a trace that goes towards the other chip. This would probably be bypass. And then we've got an SD. No idea what that means. And then right here it says in. So I'm guessing that's where the audio is going to be coming in. So what I could do is I could trace like where those pins for both of the pads here, we can check where those go over to this side. So both of those pins right there, which would be pin 4 on both of those ICs, it first goes to a resistor, and then that resistor seems to be in series with this other capacitor, and then that via right there is the one that has a trace on the opposite side that goes over to the other chip. We said that this one here is just the same thing. It goes here to where another resistor would be, and then that's in series with what that other capacitor would be. So first thing we could actually do is we can see if these two are connected together. It doesn't appear so on this side. Oh, actually, no, it might. It looks like it would be that one right there and that one right there. Yeah, so it looks like this thing is in mono, no matter what. Let's see if we've got continuity right there, but I mean, chances are, yeah. All right, so I've got the multimeter right there on the top right corner. Let's see what it does. So we'll touch that one, and we'll touch that one. Yep. So no matter what, this thing's going to operate in like mono only mode. That other trace that says mode looks like both of those are connected together as well. That would be that via right there and that via right there. These definitely look like they're also connected together. It looks like it goes off that way and into right there. So, okay. Well, that blows that idea out of the water. It's mono. And yeah, that's it for that one. That's pretty much all there is inside of it. So not anything too crazy, more of just like a fun little novelty. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it back together then. Oh, I think I see why they bent this connector up. If you're just trying to put it in like this while the board is already installed, it's kind of difficult, but it is doable. So yeah, there you go. It connected just fine. It almost seems like it'd be better if this little board with the LEDs was installed the other way around. That way you could have this LED being a little bit further up over here. And so this one here wouldn't be like all the way down at the bottom, and it'd look a little bit like better centered. But I mean, this cable is too short, so they would have had to make something that was a little longer to reach like all the way down there to the bottom. and the battery and the speaker connector, there's no way to differentiate them, but they both would fit like in either connector. So it'd be really easy to accidentally put the battery directly into the amplifier. But, I mean, I've already made sure that this speaker went to the right one, so no problem here. Ugh. Still good. Oh, geez. Oh yeah, this also has an FM radio built in, but you have to use a micro USB cable as an antenna, it says. So it does come with this little one right here, so let's see if that works at all. We just go ahead and plug it in there. And we'd hit the mode button. I'm not sure how you tune it. That just seems to like mute it or something. No, it does say to push play, and that's going to search. It says search platform. I'm guessing that just means that it's just going to like scan the frequencies and see if it picks something up. So let's see. I'm just going to hold this up like that. Maybe it'll pick up something. It's not picking anything up. I'm wondering if by using the micro USB cable, it means to use this one, maybe? I mean, I already don't pick up stuff very well in here in the garage to begin with, so we might not get anything in here. Probably have to take it like outside or something. Yeah, it's not picking up anything. An antenna.
All right, son. All done. Here you go.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.